welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So, what movie are we reviewing tonight, Mike?
Well.
Glad you asked.
I'm glad you asked. Yeah, I'm good for something. Now, okay, what we're doing here is what appears to be an independent. There's not a lot of information on this one, guys. It's called Haunting on Fraternity Row. It's a 2018 supernatural horror. Now, normally it's a girls' one, like the Haunting on Sorority Row and different things and that sort of stuff. But this time, it's the guy's turn, okay?
Yeah, it's a first for us.
Yeah, well, the first of them too, probably. It's not bad, but we normally talk about it at the end of it, but I will say I don't like the style of the filming in it.
Me neither.
It's done like a found footage, and it's not really a found footage. It's just like they had a frat party on, and everyone had handy cams and whatever, and yada yada, and people got killed, yada yada yada, and it wasn't. And it was actually at the beginning of the movie it says 16 hours before, and was showing what they were doing. So it wasn't actually found footage being redone by somebody. It was just going back to what they're doing. So it wasn't really found footage, but there was a hell of a lot of shaky camera work going on. I'll tell you right now.
I mean, it was hard to tell which was found footage and which was. I mean, considering the fact, all the times we watch throughout this movie, we see, like, in one scene where the person is dressing the camera, and then the next minute we see across the room someone else is in the room with them with a camera, and
then they're alone in the room, and there's a camera on them, following them around when they're by themselves. So Casper must be on the team.
Yeah,
yes.
If it was some sort of CCTV, then I guess I would say there's something in the room. But most of these shots are shot just like cinematic wise, which just makes sense.
So it's a bit of a Apart from that, the filming style. It's not. It falls in the same sort of category as all the other sorority row houses. Let's have a party. The shit hits the fan and everyone dies.
The guys who did Never Hike Alone did a lot more better job than these guys. Because at least they bothered to know the difference between cinematic filmmaking and found footage style.
Look, if you're going to use a DSLR, a good quality DSLR or a video camera, when you put it in post, you make it a bit more grungy. You're using your... what we call it, Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Studio, whatever you're going to use, Sunny Vegas. Just make it a bit grungy to make it look like found footage if it's supposed to be.
And most of the time when you see their hands in shot, like trying to hold the camera,
what's different?
It's a little difficult to imagine them holding the camera in that. I mean, it feels like there's another person in the room holding the camera for them. Obviously,
exactly.
you could see that.
I mean, then that's what. I mean, apart from the normal basic storyline, which is average, but average to good, same sort of crap. The filming style to me takes it down a piece. So anyway, here we go. Produced by Michael Benaroya, Ben Sachs, Sarah Victor, and William Edwards III. Directed by Brant Surson and written by Brant Surson and Jeff Kahn. Okay. I do not know how much it cost to make. I do not know any box office. I don't even know whether any got anywhere near a cinema. I think it may have gone to DVD or they would have been doing streaming back in 2018, wouldn't they? Yeah, it might have gone straight to a streaming set. I don't know. But having said that, the only way you're going to see this, well, you might see it on Tubi. But Amazon, you can rent it only. eBay doesn't have it for sale. I didn't see any for sale on Amazon either. So it's going to be, if you want to, you might have a look on Tubi. That's a cheap way to do it. That's money well spent. What else can I say?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Not a lot, no. Look, honestly, I think the acting wasn't too bad. I mean, it's basic acting. You don't expect, top of the range actors in these sort of things. They're supposed to be school students acting like school students, getting drunk and having fights and having sex and getting horny and blah blah blah. You know, the usual crap. And they're not going to be really highly polished actors. You might have some potentially good actors in it. And but they did suit the part.
I think more or less. I think it's the script's fault more than the actor's fault.
It's
because
a basic script.
Because the script, they kind of were doing things I don't think even a normal person would do. I mean, they sound too much like the characters in normal movies, where you think that they're most like they just pretty much talk as if the writing was written on the paper.
Yeah, well, I think what he's trying to say is it sounds like they sat around a table having a few drinks, recorded themselves talking, and wrote it down. They didn't put a lot of thought into it. What you're trying to say?
Even there are some scenes in this movie, guys, like dealing with the girls. They seem to be more hard up than the guys.
Yeah, so one of the girls there hit on a boyfriend saying, "You don't drink tonight. I haven't had sex for a month. You better perform." You know, well, that's normally a guy's role. You know? I'm horny. We haven't done it for a month. Please, and you beg him, saying, "Can we?"
And there was this other girl who wanted to do a sex tape with the guy, and usually it's the other way around.
Yeah,
and what respected girl would, especially if she's sober, would do that?
Oh, they could be horny.
Maybe so, but even though you said to me just a while ago that this is their last hurrah before they go off to university or graduate.
Their last party. They have finished their studies. Even actually one of the guys there said, "I just got a letter from so-and-so university where he's been accepted to go off to learn how to be a doctor." So they've done their
homework,
ordinary school there, and they've finished their so many years getting ready to go on to bigger and better things.
And there's one character, that Jason character, I think his name was, where he's falling for a girl, like he wants to get her attention. He kind of acts all shy around her, and we don't see him, approach her throughout, like. And
he's a shy, timid little fellow.
And usually it's the girls who are a little bit sometimes shy and stuff. And usually it's because they just don't know how to approach them and say, "Would you like to get banged together?"
Back. So we get a bit scared. If they think the girl's above us, we do get a bit scared sometimes, going, "Well, you know,
it's just
she probably will say no." So
it's just the way he was doing this, Mike, because he was acting too much like a fraidy cat, like all this and stuff. Not the fraidy cat kind of way, like.
You won't know you're not a man. When I was a young guy, a lot of guys wouldn't ask out a really, really top-looking girl because the first thing they'll think is, she's probably got a boyfriend.
Anyway, just...
No, wait a minute. Or the second part will come on saying, she'll probably say no because she can get better than me.
Yeah.
So guys will bypass the good-looking girls.
Anyway, the words don't seem natural. Like, this is supposed to be a found footage, meaning it's supposed to be real. Like, real people don't talk this way. They don't speak like they're uncertain about each other, and they start chatting like they're in the movies sort of thing.
You mean a bit like a script, was it?
Yeah, it just feels like it's all scripted. You know,
it was a movie.
I know, but the found footage scripts are supposed to be natural, like normal conversations, like the way you would speak to if you were talking about movies, like your favorite movie, Mike. You would be talking about all the inappropriate stuff. You go off your chops, or even say jokes here and there, and I don't even get them sometimes. And sometimes in other movies. In other found footages, they would allow the actors to make up dialogue on the spot. But I imagine this director probably didn't want them to do that, so he told them stick to the script.
We want you to be an idiot. There you go. These are your words.
But the problem with the script is it's too theatre.
It might be a little bit too theatrical.
Theatrical, because it's supposed to be a found footage movie.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be natural. Yeah. This is not natural.
Yeah. However.
Anyway,
do you think it actually be better suited to the supernatural horror comedy?
I don't think so. I don't think this comes under comedy.
It wasn't that serious. It didn't come out of that.
It doesn't seem serious to me either. Anyway,
non-committed. How's that?
Like the part with the kid who goes upstairs and studies the history of the house.
There's something going on.
And finds out this haunted history about it.
And when there's a good party going on downstairs, hello.
What self-respected teen would do that while there's a party
Unless
downstairs?
Unless he's a real geek, he'll be downstairs getting drunk and laid, probably.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, all the characters act off their rocker when it comes to some of these scenes. They just don't seem like very natural when you think about it. Anyway,
get into the
so
story,
let's just get into. So, do you want to mention any of the actors, or do you think we should?
But the point is, when we come in, okay, we got Jacob Artist plays Jason Blair plays Tanner, Shane Lee Caswell plays Claire, Claudia Lee plays Lisa, Ashton Moyo plays Dougie, Cameron Moline plays Grant, Molly Tarloff plays Maggie, Chester Rushing plays Drew, Brian Pugh plays Wiggles. I think he said the guy on the camera, is it?
Yeah. Sometimes we see Wiggles. Using the camera. Yeah. It's mostly, what did you call them? Not high definition cameras.
No, they don't need anything like hand cams and that sort of stuff.
It's sort of those, but they don't look. They don't have the feel. The quality looks too good.
Eduardo Lawson plays Lube, whoever that is. Stephanie Honor plays Daphne. Melissa Saint Amand plays Kate. Mary Alice Reisner plays Ali. Ashton Lee plays Sadie. Now there's a drum roll here. Drum roll, we got. And Ran Yatum plays the demon. Now, how many times do you get someone giving the demon who doesn't have a speaking role or anything any credit?
Good point.
That's very nice, and it's happened more often because the guy is still in the picture, in the film. He is still doing something. Look at Jason Voorhees. We had Buggerlugs inside the suit, and Michael Myers. We know who the guy was in the suit.
Yeah, that's another thing about the demon. It looks... The graphics for this demon thing looks like they've been done in After Effects. Yeah. And not a very good...
the smoky sort of thing coming in, and then occasionally you see the demons shaped behind somebody, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't even look that good.
But that's not the point. You look, hey, maybe it looks that way in real life. Yeah.
It was just mostly two glowing eyes and a black
and a shaggy head.
A black silhouette of the creature.
Yeah,
that
could be him.
Not a really good one, to be honest, because even in other movies that deal with the really advanced stuff, they would at least try to make it look more creepier and scarier.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the story now?
Yeah, might as well.
We might skip some names here a bit because we don't have any text written down from anywhere on the computer saying, who did this? Here's the storyline. So we're gonna skim over it reasonably good and the best we can and stuff. And if we make a mistake here and there, well, that's just the way it is in the showbiz.
True. So the story begins with a bunch of guys using the cameras as a bit of to prank on each of their
friends.
The guys
in the
there.
house.
And it's, well, as I said before, the footage is very too sharp to be anything looking realistic. Anyway, so they are going to organise a luau.
Luau, and invite the girls over from the local sorority house.
Yeah, exactly so. And so they also got some pledges, the kind of guys that the newbies who will take over after these guys graduate and go off to either university or whatever higher education comes to mind.
One of the guys already got a letter saying he's been accepted into a university to study so he can be a doctor and stuff. So we're at that stage of the transition, going into business or whatever.
Yeah. First, it's normal school, high school, then college, and then university if you can afford it.
Yeah, or get a real job and pay your parents back. Yeah.
That comes to mind too, sometimes.
When are you getting a job?
Nah, don't know. Never mind. So anyway, while they're preparing things with their kegs and stuff, they then one of the kegs rolls down into the basement and crashes into the wall, breaking it.
Yeah, drywall. We call it dip rock here, but drywall will play the dips and dip rock.
Yeah, they notice there's a chunk of it broken off, and they start breaking it open, and we see a bit of a tunnel.
A man-made tunnel. It was bricked up, bricked done properly so it wouldn't cave in.
They go inside it, and they see a room full of candles and chandeliers and lighting stuff. And they also find a chalice and
big chalice
and a sort of a little round metal, a little round flat piece of wood or cut, whatever.
I think it was metal.
Yeah.
I think it was metal,
yeah. With a little bit of text on it.
Yeah.
And this boy, of course, one of the boys, is into the supernatural cult stuff, religion stuff.
Yeah, good religious boy.
He does go upstairs to find out what it means, of course. And while the guy who has the chalice uses it as a bit of a sort of just a drink for his pleasure.
It's pretty big. It's probably take.
It makes me think of a drink. I mean, a cup that my sister drank when we were at Dracula's one time.
It's gonna say it's. I'd say in here we use litres. I'd say it'd be take about a litre. It's a big cup.
Yeah,
I'd drink out of that.
It's practically looking at it's like a soup bowl.
Yeah, those big soup bowls you get. They're probably like a big coffee cup, but bigger. Well, it's like that, but bigger again. Yeah.
Anyway, it's that kind of size of much. Not suitable for drinking from, but I imagine it's more for cutting throats and using it as for ceremony
good
stuff.
Yeah.
The usual stuff you see in ceremony
Been dropping
stuff.
Toenail clippings in and stuff.
Whatever. Anyway, the boy discovers the words on the little metal bit.
It's made in Japan.
No.
The other words. Sorry.
Yeah, he tries to contact Jason about it several times in some of the scenes, telling them that their house, it used to belong to a family who so the man of the house killed 13 people, including his wife.
Didn't he have a dinner party or something? Invited
He had a dinner party and killed them all.
Do you know why? They didn't bring a bottle of wine with them, okay? So, if ever you go to dinner and they say, don't bring anything, at least bring a bottle of wine.
Well, anyway, that's not the point. So, anyway, so this might be a cult-related thingy-wing. Anyway, so the party's on your way.
There was a demon hanging around. Yeah.
And the party starts getting off the ground, and there is mostly some funny... well, not funny. It's more like jump scares in this movie that get you wondering if the demon's there, but it's not, and stuff like that. And there were moments where we did see the demon hovering, like in shadow or even in black clouds.
A bit of a silhouette. Yeah, like a bit of a black cloud oozing out across the ceiling and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's where I meant about how this After Effects it looks too clean. Anyway, there were a few moments where they do a bit of the lights flicker for gosh knows reasons. Like
they didn't pay the light bill.
Mm-hmm. And one scene where a guy is throwing up in the toilet, and he is lying near the cubicle, and somehow the creature approaches it and kills him. Obviously,
and actually, everyone who dies, as far as we can see, has something go on with their eyes, doesn't it?
That's what you should have rephrase that, Mike. Every time this movie, you don't really see because the people don't have eyes to see from.
Oh well, I see. No, but everyone who dies loses their eyes, or their eyes get more bloody. I couldn't tell. Do they actually lose or just
they
very
kind
bloody?
of just go black
and dribbly and stuff, and
like somehow whatever this creature is. I don't know if he kind of gets I don't know what to make of it.
Don't know. But anyway.
I mean, if maybe they pop the eyes. I don't know.
Well, that hurt.
Well, it doesn't. We don't really see them what they do to these people. We just only see black holes in their already.
Well, maybe they pluck the eyeballs out. Maybe, I know. You want a bowl of grapes or something or other.
Maybe. Anyway, there was another scene where the couple are upstairs and the girl wants to do a sneaky sex video with her phone. And they start making out, and as she's at the climax moment, we see her eyes, blacked out, obviously.
That's one hell of a climax, hey?
Oh, yeah. The guy freaks out. He tries to leave, but then the door slams.
Yeah, when she's riding the baloney pony. Yeah.
Guy tries to flee, but unfortunately he gets killed by the demon
Same
too.
colour. Yeah.
And I should mention, guys, that during these scenes, there's a lot of slamming doors in some of these scenes.
Yeah. A lot of fishing line.
Yeah.
Fishing line always works good, eh?
Mm-hmm. But anyway, I kind of, as the story goes, we do get a lot of moments where we do get. I think the most likely scene that comes to mind that was a better version of what this demon looked like would be the scene where the guy he takes two girls upstairs for a threesome, I think it is. And while they're high on drugs...
Yeah, he stiffed up a couple of lines. He was really going good. Yeah.
And he blew some right into the demon's face, which looks like he had a creepy smile on his face.
Yeah, a really demon head. Really nice looking. Hey,
that was probably the
best demon.
The better version of what the demon should look like.
He looked really good.
It was better than the black silhouette figure. It looks so lame. Anyway, he freaks out, and the two girls go back downstairs.
I think the guy's a bit weird.
Oh, yes.
The guy's off his tits with the drugs. Yeah.
Of course, the guy who's doing the research trying to find out that there's a demon possibly on the loose, and he finally gets the chalice back and was able to work out the rest of the translation on it, obviously.
And this little chalice thing was supposed to be a prison for the demon.
Yeah, seems that the chalice was meant to... See, the metal bit they discover is actually a lid.
Which goes on top. And
somehow, after the keg rolled down and kind of bumped into the wall, I think that the chalice may have fell and... A little bit of a vibration went through there or something. Caused it to fall on the ground. Anyway, he's next on the demon's hit list, but he doesn't get killed. He just gets knocked out for a bit, which is a bit odd to me. I don't know how he was able to survive not getting gouged.
He wasn't needed at that point in time.
Anyway, soon enough, things start getting gross. Where soon enough, at first, I should mention that the first half is just an ordinary frat party, and it's boring.
Yeah, usual crowd, everyone getting drunk, having a good time,
Only when they get to the second half that it does start getting more exciting and more interesting. Anyway, soon enough, people started noticing that there's something wrong in this house, and the kids start running, and some of them stay behind or hide under a table, and some of them get their eyes gouged and knocked about by the demon.
Yep.
Anyway, Jason and his girlfriend, or I think his girlfriend, go upstairs and they meet the guy who I told you guys who was unconscious, obviously, but somehow survived, and it was they placed him in the closet thinking he'll be fine there, while Wiggles and Jason and the girlfriend, they head, I guess, down a different corridor, tried to avoid the demon. Of course, while this is all happening, we get a few jump scares along the way. They then head down to the basement where they try to turn the lights on, because I think the lights are sort of like kryptonite to the demon.
I think the demon turned the lights off.
Which does explain why the demon is able to run back in this, because all the house, well, not all the house, there's mostly lamplight, ordinary light, but somehow it's kind of dark in some of these scenes.
Well, they needed some lights on the camera so they can see the people.
Like, there's even one scene where one of the lights. I think it was a neon glow light, whatever. I can't.
Oh, the black light things you use as parties. Yeah,
it kind of broke in one scene, obviously, and it could be the demon doesn't like lights of any kind. So anyway, they head down to the basement and they try to find the light switch to
a circuit breaker. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, as they try to wait for help for a bit, and of course, as they're waiting, they try to figure out what they should do. Like, how should they be able to stop this demon thing from possibly killing any more people upstairs?
Anyway, they did see a few people killed on the dance floor, didn't they?
Yeah, quite a few. And
then people realised, we've got a problem here, this party's gone sour.
Yeah.
So some people ran away.
Yeah, well, some of the partygoers have left and probably called the police.
Oh, it's getting late now. I'm going to get back.
Anyway, while this is happening, one of the girls comes into the room and she goes on to explain that her mother knew of the demon and stuff like that. We've learned that she it was mentioned in the story that in the newspaper that her father went on a killing spree. He found this chalice, and this chalice the demon started possessing him.
Yeah.
And I guess he killed the 13 people and his wife, obviously. And I think along the lines he found a way to seal up the demon. And
in his chalice.
It's my opinion that how he did it was that he killed, I think, to please the demon, to keep it contained or try to stop it, is by killing 13 people.
Otherwise, it'll escape and run amok in the community and kill lots of people.
Yeah, because sometimes people often say it takes a matter. If you release the demon, you must sacrifice a certain number of people
and one of 13 being the sacred number.
Yeah.
A baker's dozen, hey.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that or something else. Anyway, soon enough she appears and she stabs Jason, and then she tries to stab his girlfriend, and she goes on to explain, it's not Jason, it must be you. I think that she might think the only way to stop this demon is to find a virgin. I could be wrong about that one. I don't know.
I'm safe.
Yeah. Anyway, she chases her upstairs. Well, she's about to chase her, but then the demon, I think she fights her off, and she heads upstairs, and there the guy that was doing the research and stuff, he kills her, and the demon gets sucked back into the basement, I think. Then we cross over to a police car driving up, and we see him standing outside with the chalice with the lid on it, and then we fade out. Credits roll.
Yeah. So
sorry I rushed
it.
But
he killed her, but he said sorry, didn't he?
Yeah, he said sorry.
Because I think he knew he had to take her life just to contain the demon.
13 people and maybe a virgin.
Well, and so at a fraternity come sorority party looking for a virgin, you'd be hard pressed.
Well, considering that her character, I don't think she has, taken the step to becoming to the next level, obviously. So by the sounds of it, she does come off as a bit of a prude in her character. Obviously, she doesn't come off as sexually active or drinkive and stuff like that. But
that sounds like me.
Like,
well, I'm not sexually active anymore. I'm 70 years old, which I was.
Anyway, she was interested in Jason because at first they were shy amongst one another, and then she was finally opening up to the chance of possibly, doing it with him and stuff like that. And he was worried that whether or not it was a good idea to actually break out and start, tearing out her clothes. Not really, actually.
Well, why not?
In this movie, he's not the tearing off clothes type.
No, he's a nice boy, isn't he?
Which is a bit odd because in this movie, everyone seemed to be wanting to tear off each other's clothes.
Well, why not?
Anyway, so that's the movie, and as I said before, I feel like the script is too much. I think the writers should have realized that this was meant to be more of a cinematic movie instead of a found footage movie.
They should have changed it to be a more a cinematic movie instead of found footage, and it would have come over better.
Yeah. Or...
Yep, like having the man in the corner with the camera who's not actually part of it, sort of thing.
There seem to be too many cameras in some of the scenes that
Yeah.
don't... I mean, I know Wiggles was wandering around with the camera, and there were a few other people in the rooms that were with the camera.
yeah.
But aside from that, no one ever exactly addresses them. We just see them address the camera in front of them and say...
sometimes they're doing selfie type stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes I walk into a room and then they do a cut across the room and there's no one there for the camera and they're still doing found footage.
Yeah.
And there's only one person in the room and you're going, yeah, well, there should have been a mixture if they want to do some found footage and some static stuff. More stable, like cinema type.
Yeah, sometimes when in some of the separate scenes, like one-on-one conversation scenes, you could see that there were two cameras rolling at the same time. I know this,
guys. You know how to cut away, doing the mid-shots and whatever. And you have to have two cameras rolling. Camera A and camera B doing this shot. You don't have two selfies going at the same time.
Yeah, and of course there was those jerky zoom-in shots that were very jerky.
Quick zoom in, quick zoom out, and stuff like you would expect with by an amateur person playing with his GoPro or his Handycam or whatever. Yeah.
And of course, I would mention this to Mike that found footage movies, they're never clear. Like the person is either jerky or not really focused. Because these people, like Wiggles here, they're not professional cameramen. They're not. I mean, they wouldn't be focused on that that scene so much. They would be focused on the activities more than just the conversations.
They wouldn't be following someone around, someone catching up every word you're saying. Yeah, what is he stalking the people? Is he? Or,
yeah.
If you're going to have sex in a minute, I want to watch.
It would have been good if there was a mixture of iPhone footage here and there. Like,
a bit of mixture. You get little icons in the corner saying, "Hey, your battery's going flat" and that sort of stuff. A bit more credibility, maybe.
True. Yeah. So the movie kind of was a bit disappointing, guys.
Yeah, and look, it was a good movie, but it wasn't a great movie. Because the cinema, the not cinematographics. The filming style let it down. How's that? Would you say?
Yeah, I would definitely say the filming style did let it down big time.
It had a basic script, basic dialogue, basic plot, which is like all the other ones do. But the other ones are better than this.
Yeah.
Because they didn't rely on, let's do handheld and have a shaky camera all the time.
Yeah.
And have a hidden person in the room with a camera. It just didn't work that well.
Most of the time when people do a found footage movie, they dress the camera, in ever so often.
Like the Blair Witches, that was one of the first ones, wasn't it?
Yes.
They were actually talking to the camera and say, you turn that freaking camera off. I'm sick of it. Get out of my face. Because they're actually talking to the guy with the camera.
And
not someone just walking around going, we're having a party, smile.
Also, it's such a thing if you were in a movie like this.
Yeah.
It didn't seem... It came off, as I said before, like the dialogue was just... It was just stiff. It didn't feel real. It felt like the conversations ran too long in some scenes.
Well, and the party.
Yeah.
Or they come up to the lead up to the party, that sort of stuff.
That was a bit on the long side.
That was a bit slow and boring. And then the party was more about party. It was someone actually... I think I read somewhere, looked like a music video than a party. Yeah,
I think that was one of the. I think it was one of the fans who on Rotten Tomato.
Yeah, we slipped there and had a look at theirs, and it looked like a music video clip having in a party. It wasn't actually like a real party.
Yeah, I heard a few people complain about how that sort of thing went on and on and on.
It went on too long.
Too long, too boring. It's stiff and lifeless.
Yeah, I watched the movie some time ago and I can't for the life remember what it was called. But they had a party or they went to a nightclub or something or other and the band started playing a song. Mm-hmm. All right?
Right.
The camera was on the band for 3 or 3.5 minutes while the band played the song. So it became all about the band. There was no dialogue. They waited for the band to finish, and then they continued the dialogue. Mm-hmm. In a normal movie, you might see the band start up, and then you do a cutaway. The music was in the background. Then you continue your dialogue.
That's another thing about this found footage. Usually, there are moments where your footage is not sharp, but very blurry in some shots. In this one, it was all clean.
Yeah.
Which there was a moment of static in one scene, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But the rest was just all clean.
That's when in the basement when they had that meeting or something, was it?
No, when they were just having their speeches, the frat guys were talking and about how telling, and then all suddenly
it went
wriggly and then staticky for a second there. We don't see that again in this movie.
So anyway, irrespective, not a bad movie. But the filming style, I think, let it down. So that when I grade it in a few moments, that's going to be the reason why I'm going to grade it down, because I don't like the way I'm not playing the cinematographer guy. If the guy directing it, Mr. Bug-Eyed, Brant Surson said, hey, I want you to do this, well, he gave it to him, and that's what Brant wanted.
Yeah. You should have let the actors try to act more natural in the scene.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to make a movie. So actually, someone told me years and years ago that when they made the first Buffy the Vampire movie, not the TV series, they only had a half-baked script, and they did fill-ins, and they did a lot of ad-libbing in there. And Donald Sutherland said, well, I've never been on a movie without a full written script before. And he had to wing it a bit of the way through. And it became a bit more natural. How would you handle this scene yourself?
Yeah.
What would you actually say in this situation?
Yeah.
So
another movie example, I know I'm not really fond of this movie too much, but Hellfest, they kind of, did their own dubbing with their own... not dubbing, I mean, ad-libbing their, when they were at the theme park a little bit. And while that was great, some scenes ran overtime here and there. But aside from that, they were able to act like teenagers looking like having a good time.
Having a good time, before they got killed.
Yeah, while this one feels like it was being forced and not in a good way, because there's no way a teen girl would suggest doing a sex tape. There's no way a girl would do that. Not if she was drunk. I don't think any self-respected girl would do that. Maybe a guy probably would do it for the fun of it, because he's gonna get away with it. I mean, not.
I used to hang out for wild butts when I was 18, in my teens, and
well, you're a guy. They're girls.
But the girls were in the group too.
Did they ever do a sex tape?
No, but we had communal bath time and everything else, and
that doesn't count.
And naked swimming.
That doesn't count.
And threesomes.
Doesn't count.
Threesomes don't count?
Nope.
Okay. We didn't have mobile phones back in those days. We still had smoke signals and stuff, and carrier pigeons. What?
Yeah, right.
What?
The point I'm trying to make here, Mike, is that most of the stuff in these scenes don't feel like this is what would come off. I mean, I don't think the girls would just naturally be really horny, like they expect to get on right away or wait or. Well, yeah. The one girl in particular was a total.
That blonde girl said, "Hey, I want you to stay sober. We can have sex later on. Well, I haven't had sex in a month." That was
a month. Usually, I don't even know.
Wait a minute.
That sounds unnatural.
No. The point is
that's weird.
It just didn't seem right. What her lines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why was she counting?
And you stay sober. I want you. Yeah. I want a good night later on. And then when she comes into the party, she's like, let's go upstairs. She says, I'm not in the mood yet.
Gee. Well, it's no surprise. He was wearing a leaf outfit. That makes him look like he's gone to Mardi Gras.
Whatever. But he was ready for it. He said, okay, I'm sober. But she didn't want to do it. She wanted to do it later on in the party. So he had to stay sober through the party. And in the end, they had an argument. They broke up a bit. And he had a few drinks.
Yeah, and he went off to, I think, tried to...
he got the other girl.
Yeah. He was trying to go for a freeway, like Mike says. I mean, as I said before, the movie... it felt like there was so many problems with it. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I hoped, considering the fact we've already gone through many sorority-related movies so far, and this is the first time from a male's perspective instead of the girl's perspective. Usually, we're always about the girls getting either a slasher killer or a horse or something like that, but we never see it from the guy's type of environment before.
Nah.
This is new, even though when push came to shove, they didn't come up with a really original. Well, not so much of original, but it wasn't gripping enough.
Anyway, I'm going to grade it now.
Might as well.
Otherwise, we're just talking around circles. I'm only going to grade it now because of this filming style.
Me too.
It's still not a bad movie. It's in there for all the other sorority type things. Let's have a frat party or a sorority party, and someone goes in there and starts getting in there and killing people off. Same sort of thingy. If you like that sort of thing, you won't be disappointed if you don't mind the shaky camera bit. Okay?
Right.
But I don't like the shaky camera bit as much. So I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 myself.
Yeah.
That's how low I think of this movie.
Yeah,
I mean, I think while I don't like a lot of fan footage movies, and I don't like the shakiness so much, but it comes off natural because they're not an experienced camera person. They're supposed to be a normal person who has no experience with a camera.
Yeah, but if you do something like we mentioned Blair Witch Project before, if you have got, say, 3 people or 4 people in a group going on an outing and recording it, you would expect to have 3 or 4 people filming each other all the time, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But not at a frat party.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem. It just didn't work. Yeah.
Because in this movie, it just feels like all the time the camera didn't shake enough. It was too on the nose, trying to make it sure that it stays steady all the time, like the professional camera guys.
I must admit, though, whoever did I never checked who the cinematographers are, but he did a good job. And when he's zooming in, when he's zooming in out and doing stuff, it stayed in focus. Where if he's trying to make it crappy looking because he's told to make it that way, he held the focus quite nicely. When you're zooming in and out and stuff and doing things that people coming in and out of the scene, he did a pretty good job there. So he did a pretty good job, but it's just
terrible.
The style of it. Yeah.
It's just, as I said before, Mike, Wiggles is not a professional cameraman.
I'm talking about the real people.
I'm talking about the characters in the movie. He's not supposed to be professional.
I know.
He's supposed to be an average guy at a frat house, not a professional videography. He's supposed to be keeping it looking like an amateur film project. It's not supposed to be sharp. It's not supposed to be clear. It's supposed to be like the fact that this is a bunch of teenagers not serious about camera work who were just pretty much running around with cameras, meaning they're not sharp, they're not smart.
But we've already discussed that. I'll just say
no, but you're talking about the director of photography.
No, I was talking about the DOP who actually did the stuff. His camera work is quite good.
His camera work is good, Mike, but he's supposed to pretend to be an average person. He was told to do something, and he did it by the director. Did it rather terribly.
He followed his instructions that the director gave him.
Yes, and he did terribly.
No, he followed the directions given by the director. Yes. The director might have did badly.
Yeah, well, I'm just meaning that he's supposed to shake the camera viciously, not hold it steady, like you're totally a moron doing that. I'm sorry, guys, but I just feel like the camera guy does not know anything about found footage movies. And even on Wikipedia, they labeled this movie just horror thriller, and it didn't have a word found footage, because when I saw this movie, I knew right away it was found footage written all over it, because even Mike didn't believe me at first, but when I typed in found footage and the name of the movie, it said pretty much found footage, camera style.
But I also went there and found out that anything with a shaky camera handheld job has been thrown into found footage as well, because there's no other genre for it.
Yeah, well, anyway,
so there you go.
It's just
let's kill it.
It's just a sad disappointment and a crash for found footage genres anywhere.
Yeah, anyway.
And if I had to, I would not add this one to a found footage listings in anywhere.
I'd make another, yeah.
This one is definitely a disappointment in my book.
Well, you look at things like Poltergeist and those sorts of things. Poltergeist? No, Paranormal Activity. That was a camera. That person had a camera. He was taking video footage around his house. His girlfriend said, "Will you turn the bloody thing off?" Yeah. So he's actually had one.
Yeah, and most of the time when people do approach the camera, they just put their hand on it and the footage gets all shaky
and that sort of stuff. None of that sort of happened in it. So
yeah. Throughout this, it was just recording all the way through it without stopping, which in most of the time in these movies they would have a battery problem.
And I was going to say, these batteries must be real good. They went all night.
Yeah, and these are just ordinary average cameras, camcorder stuff.
You only get half an hour out of them.
And they could easily just pop out the moment.
No, the battery don't last. Battery charge about half an hour, 45 minutes, and they're gone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. eBay, I might have mentioned before, no listings I can find. Amazon only rent, and you can find it on Tubi. So there must be other streaming services which may have it.
Yeah. And who wants it?
No, look, it's not a bad movie if you're prepared for that style of movie. Okay? Like sorority type, sorority rows and all that sort of stuff, and those sorts of movies. If you like that sort of stuff, it's fine, but we just personally don't like the filming style. There you go. Leave alone, Sarah.
I think my other sorority-related movies are a lot better than this one.
I just said that. We just don't like the style of the filming. Okay, let's kill it.
Anyway, thanks for listening to us, everyone, as usual. So, be sure to let us know what you guys think of this movie, even though I found it... as I said before in the past, even though we didn't like it, I respect your opinion if you like it.
You might like it. You might say, "Oh, I like it because the acting wasn't bad. You like storyline or something, right?"
Yeah, just because we didn't like it does not mean you have to say
your opinion is valued.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, guys, this is Sarah Stephenson
and Michael
saying, "See you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review." Bye for now.
Bye.